Well, Anambra election has come and gone. The governorship election, that is. The governor who has been re-elected in the process has even picked his certificate of return. But our eyes of the state now, a winner has emerged. Those who lost have even congratulated the man who won in the landslide poll. But did INEC do what was expected of the commission? Can they boldly say the conduct of this election was an improvement from the past? Well, joining us tonight is INEC National Commissioner on Publicity and Voter Education, Prince Solomon Soyebi, joins us on the program tonight. Many thanks for joining us on the program.
Good evening.
The breaking news that is coming to us now about the rerun election, Saturday, 13th of January, 2018. That's what you're telling us, isn't it?
Yes. There was a court order this Monday asking INEC to conduct that election within 90 days. So what we have done is to take into consideration so many factors, and then we've chosen the 13th day of January 2018, which will be about 51 days exactly from the delivery of that judgment. We've considered a lot of things before we meticulously came down to choose that date.
So that seat has been vacant for a while now?
It's been vacant since the annulment of the seat, sometimes in 2017. So at least, sorry, 2015. So once and for all, we want to put this to rest and make sure that the only senatorial district which is outstanding in the country without a seat, at least the election is conducted according to the court order.
Because of our time, let's quickly jump on to the assessment of the governorship election. If I may ask you, how would INEC assess or rate itself in this governorship election in Anambra State?
Well, I'll be very honest with you. We had very high hopes. We had high expectations for the Anambra elections. In spite of the huge success that we recorded, I will admit that we had some shortfalls in that election. In Ondo, the last one which we had about 94% punctuality index. Anambra fell short of that. This was as a result of... What's the punctuality
index in Anambra State?
Well, it's even difficult to say, I will tell you, because even the figures did not even come in at when due. I think what was responsible for this in Anambra was when you overplan for something, something will definitely go wrong. We overplanned because we actually wanted to ensure that for the first time in the history of Anambra, we had an election that will come to conclusion and that will be acceptable and that will be the wish of that will reflect the wish of the people.
All right.
The beauty of it is that the wish of the people was reflected on Saturday.
Okay, let's look at the turnout of this this election. There's not been a very impressive turnout in Anambra election. If you look at that, the figures there and what it shows us, it shows how undulating in comparative analysis now the percentage of voter turnout in recent election. It shows that there seems to be some improvement from the last election. If you look at what has happened 2013 versus 2017, there seems to be improvement. Are you convinced about INEC's publicity and voter awareness for this election?
In fact, not the commission's publicity alone. The political parties themselves did a lot of mobilization. Don't forget that these percentages we're talking about has to do with people. People who don't really want to come out to vote will not come out. That is what we have discovered. If we run a very robust education, voter education, and even with the citizens' participation, if people decide not to come out, they will not come out. Don't forget that the build-up to Anambra was very frightening. There was a lot of threat, and honestly, some people took those threats to heart. They did not come out because of fear. There was a lot of expectations for Anambra that something might happen. That accounts largely for this low percentage. But when we talk figuratively, we had higher volume of voters coming out in Anambra that has ever happened before.
Okay, if you look at the lessons that INEC has learned from this election, what are those lessons? Because there are going to be exactly election rerun in January. there's going to be Ekiti and Osun State elections next year. What are the lessons you've learned from this one?
The first major one which we have learned is not to over-rely on, not to be overconfident about the status of our smart card readers.
The smart card failed.
They failed a lot this time around, but we were able to live up to expectation. That's the beauty of it. We had a large number of them failing this time around. Despite the fact that they gave us a green status before we went to the elections, but they came to the field, some of them actually.
Are you likely to change the technology?
As of today, definitely not. But we are going to enhance the smart card reader to be more voter-friendly. We're going to have one that could capture 10 fingers now instead of, which could capture the 10 fingers at the back end, a solution of our data, instead of the one that is customary. So that will make it more friendly and faster. We're trying to improve.
If you say faster, because this one that we have, only we need your thumb for verification. Now you want to include 10 fingers.
Yes.
Isn't that wouldn't be faster?
It will be faster because you have the 10 fingers at the back end. So it could pick any one of them and then it recognizes you faster.
Okay.
If one does not, if the two thumbs do not work, at least it will pick any one of them and relate it to the solution at the back end and recognizes you as the authentic voter.
INEC has manualized its process too much. The filling of the figures, the transmission of the result from the LGA, from the racks to super racks, the way it enters its result are too manualized. Are you looking into ensuring that there's some sort of digitization of your result compilation ahead of 2019?
Yes, we're trying to combine both manual and digital compilation of results. Even in Anambra, in case you're not aware, we had what we called transmission of results from the registration areas electronically. It's a pilot scheme. We are trying to pilot this at least so that we can inject it fully and positively in the conduct of the 2019 election.
Before we go, there was an uproar after the result was announced. I saw you in the mix of that. If you can show the video now of some of the political parties who were angry at you. You see the visuals earlier on the headlines that we had. Some people who were not happy because they felt that they did not have the result, and you gave result only to some political parties, and they believe that INEC was unfair.
It was never a selective. It wasn't a selective issue of results. Don't forget that there were 37 political parties. The carbonation of they were going to take carbon copies. The technology that will make 37 copies in the carbonated form is very, very rare. The best which you can do is about 6. Once you sign on the original, you may not be able to get more than 6 copies. So all you have to do is just replicate and give to them, which was what we did. Eventually, we explained all this to them.
All right.
It was just carbonation issue. It was never a selective.
We're closing now. Electoral Act. In 30 seconds, tell us, are you ensuring that the amendment to Electoral Act is going to be done, especially all of these, the machine that you're using, because they are adjusting your guideline? Just quickly before we.
We are working very closely with the National Assembly, and I want to say openly here that they have been very cooperative and very, very forthcoming in the review of the laws and in enacting new laws that will allow us to have a robust legal instrument for 2019.
All right. We must leave it at that, but we remind our viewers the breaking news that we've gotten from INEC tonight. Anambra Central Senatorial rerun election we hold on the 13th of January 2018. And that's how far we can go on the program. Many thanks to Mr. Solomon Shoyabi for your time on the program tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye-bye.